Okay, so one very important aspect of the writing task is to be able to proofread. A lot of the times people run out of time to even proofread. How can they time manage so that they can proofread?
Right. I mean, I think it is a very common thing that's overlooked by a lot of students because when students are at a lower level, then they're concentrating on just finishing their essay. And when they're at the higher level, then they can maybe finish their essay just in time. And then when you want to get to the absolute highest scores, you really need to proofread your essay to make sure that you make no mistakes. And even as a native English speaker, when I write things on a whiteboard, I make mistakes. I have to read through my work to check. So common mistakes that I might make would be, you know, perhaps there's a missing article, or maybe there's a subject-verb agreement problem that I just didn't quite see. So I always check my own work. But you do have to have a bit of time for it. I mean, if you're writing a task 2 essay and you have 40 minutes, then it's maybe 3 or 4 minutes to plan, 30 minutes to write your essay. And if you have time, that 5 minutes at the end to see if you can improve it in any way. And in terms of improving it, there are a couple of things that I do. First of all, be aware of what mistakes that you make normally, and then look back in your essay and correct those mistakes. I'd also be aware of what I might call lonely words, words which just look so sad on their own, and they'd be much happier if they had an adjective or an adverb to go with them. Just remember, the examiner wants to see these collocations and longer words together. So I'd go back through your work, and for example, in task 1, if you said something increased, you could say something suddenly increased or something dramatically increased. So just look for any words that are on their own and think about how you could add something a little bit more to that.
Right. How would they be able to add it if they've already written the essay?
That's a very good question. I would just draw a little upside down V and then write it next to the word.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from what you say, proofreading is a necessary, must-have step, correct?
It is. I would recommend that the first thing that the student should do is practice it at home when they're writing an essay at home. And if they get an essay marked with a correction code, then they should take that home and practice maybe rewriting that essay and including the corrections. And just be aware, if you make the same mistake a lot, make sure that you look for that mistake in the future.
Absolutely.